data engineering, what is data engineering, what is Google Cloud Platform, and what are the advantages of using the Google Cloud Platform over the other cloud platforms, and what is the detailed course curriculum. So these are the three things that we have seen, guys, right? So what is data engineering, and the second thing is what is GCP, and the GCP overview also we have seen. And after that, I have also told you about the detailed course curriculum, the detailed course content that we are going to cover, right? So this is something that we have completed yesterday. For those people who did not attend the yesterday session, please connect with our management team or connect with me so that you can able to have the recording to the access. Okay, so please mute yourself, guys. Please mute yourself. Yes, everyone mute yourself. I still see one of the person. Okay, so yesterday we have completed a demo one where we have seen about these things. Today we are going to have a demo two, guys. Today this is demo two. We are going to have a demo two today where we are going to talk about one of our very first topic. One of our very first topic, that is cloud overview. Cloud overview. Just wanted to talk about this one, which is one of the very important thing, because if you don't understand how people were working earlier and how people are working now, if you don't understand it, you don't appreciate the technology. So that's the reason today I come up with a very, very interesting topic, guys, which everyone must know, as we are going to start a regular topic from today onwards, that is our cloud basics. In today's session, we are going to start with the very first topic, that is cloud overview. In this one, we are going to talk about the cloud overview, why we need the cloud platform, and what is the difference between the on-premises versus cloud platform. We are going to see a very, very interesting topic. Everyone must know, whether you are attending my session or whether you are not attending my session, or whether you are attending other sessions of a cloud, everyone must know about why we need the cloud platform. We should appreciate the technology of the cloud, right? So that's the reason I come up with a very, very first topic, that is cloud overview, and after that we will see these things in the next sessions. Okay, yes. Now let us start with why we need cloud. Tell me, guys, why we need the cloud platforms. In your words, tell me, please. One line at a time. One line, one person, at least. Okay. I'm gonna write it. If you say something, I'm gonna write it. Okay. So let us try to see that. So it will be easy for you. So why we need cloud, right? At least one answer I'm expecting from a person. So one is infrastructure, yes. And yes, one more guy is saying scalable, yes. Yes, pay as you go model, very good. Pay as you go model, yes, very good. Any other? Correct. Easy to manage and easy to access, yes, that is one more thing. Yes. I'm gonna just write only the valid answers here. If you guys say something, I'm gonna write here the valid answers. Yes, anyone. Let us give it to on cost effective. Yes, cost effective. Yes, we can go for scalability. Large volumes of the data is nothing but scalability. Yes. Security, yes, there is a features of security, yes, right? Yes. So you go for monitoring and all of those features also there in the on-premises as well as here also you have it. Yes. Okay, so let us. So these are the features, right? Maybe I'll try to tell you the same thing by taking one of the example. I'll try to take with an example, because these are the pointers that we understand it by reading some, uh, by reading something on the news or by reading some article. You are going to get these points. But in a company, if they wanted to create an application from the scratch to the end, how the flow will be in the company, let us try to see. Right, so for example, if a company wanted to start a new application, if a company, if an organization wanted to roll out a new application for the users, so what is the procedure, let us try to understand. So assume that there is a one of the company, and that particular company wanted to create a one application for the end users. For the end users, that particular company, take any company, let us take one of the company, so company ABC, they wanted to create an application for their end users. So for their end users, they wanted to create a new application. So what is the procedure, what is the flow, how many people are interacted, how many teams are going to be working behind the scene, how much is the infrastructure is required, let us try to see on this particular diagram today. Okay, so for example, if an organization wanted to create a new application, the business comes up with a requirement for the application. The business comes up with a requirement for the application. So whatever the application that they wanted to create it, the business managers, they comes up with a requirement for application. What is the requirement of creating this application, why it is needed, who are going to use this application, all of those details the business managers will comes up with the requirements. Then there will be a business analyst will be there. A business analyst will gather all the needs from the business, and he analyzes that information, and he converts that information to a set of high level technical requirements and passes that information to the solution architect. Okay, so what a solution architect will do, so he will understand, maybe for example, a business comes up with a requirement for the application, and the business analyst will gather all the needs from the business. He analyzes that information, he converts that information to a set of high level technical requirements, and then he passes that information to the solution architect. Now the solution architect is the one who creates the entire process, who designed the entire process. So solution architect is the one who designed the entire architecture to be followed for the deployment of the application from the scratch to the end. From the scratch to the end, if they wanted to create an application, he create an entire architectural diagram to follow the deployment of the application. Right, so in this architectural diagram, how many people, how many developers required for the application, how much amount of a infrastructure is required for this application creation, how many teams are needs to be working behind the scenes, so all of those details he is going to be creating in an architectural design, so that everyone must follow this architectural design only. Okay, so a solution architect will gather all the details from the business analyst, and now he will design a architecture to be followed for the deployment of this application. Whatever the application that they wanted to create it, right, according to the creation of this application, he will include the developers, he will also include the programming languages to be followed, he will also mention the infrastructure, how much amount of infrastructure is required, such as the web servers, front end web servers, back end web servers, load balancers, databases, so all of those details that they are going to mention. Right, so this is what will happen, guys. So what is happening here? The solution architect will create an architectural design to be followed for the deployment of the application. In this one, two things are there. One is developers. One more is infrastructure. One is developers. One more is infrastructure. Tell me, guys, who will recruit the developers? According to the requirement of this particular project, so the company will hire, or company will recruit a multiple developers for this particular project. Right, so what they do, so for example, if they want a Java developer or a Python developer, so the company will recruit the manpower. So whenever you wanted to build any application, you need two things, guys. Not only an application in your project, whenever you wanted to fulfill any project or create any application, you need two things. Can you guys tell me what are those two things? To create an application, we need two things, guys. mainly. So the two things is that one is manpower, one more is infra power. Manpower is nothing but what, sir? Employees or developers. Infra power is nothing but what, sir? Hardware, right? Purchasing the hardware. So the same thing here, to create an application, here the company will recruit the developers. That is fine. What about the infrastructure? Tell me. What about the infrastructure? Because the infrastructure is also one of the important aspect for creating the application. So when you are working in the on premises working model, when you are working in the on premises working model, you do not know about the cloud at all. If you go just 20 years before, 20 years before, at that point of time the cloud is not there. Now at that point of time they wanted to create an application by following a traditional working model. How the infrastructure is designed, or how the infrastructure is coming from, where the infrastructure is coming from. So that time the organizations used it to maintain the data center. Correct. Exactly. So that time, so these organizations use it to maintain their own data center. In the data center, the infrastructure is available. The hardware is available, that is in the form of a rack and stack. You might have seen this image. If you look at this image, this is how the data center looks like. This is the area for data center. Inside the data center, this is how the looks like. The entire hardware is situated in the form of a rack and stack. This is called as a rack and stack equipment. So at that point of time, the companies, the organizations use it to maintain the data center. So in the data center, the infrastructure is usually available. Okay, so if you are following a traditional model, the infrastructure is available in the data center, the company's data center. Tell me, most of the for this application, some amount of infrastructure is already available in the data center. What if the additional infrastructure is required? What will be the company will do, guys? What is going to be the company will do? So some amount, for example, they need the total 5 components. 3 components are available already here for the application deployment. What about the rest of the two? Correct. So that is where they are going to, the solution architect will request a procurement team to purchase the two of the components. So if the additional hardware is needed, they have to order it via procurement team. Now the procurement team will request a vendor's team to purchase this entire components. Right, so this is what. So whenever you are working in a traditional working model, the entire application to be deployed in the data center only. Sir, whenever you are working in a traditional model, whatever the application that you wanted to develop, that application has to be deployed in the company's infrastructure only, company's data center only. Right, if all the infrastructure is already available in the data center, no issues. If all the infrastructure is required for application deployment is already available in the data center, no problem at all, we can directly go for the development deployment. But if the additional hardware is required, because most of the times the infrastructure is not readily available, so that's where if the additional hardware is required, they have to order it via procurement team. Now the procurement team will put in a new request to the vendors team. Now the vendors team will go to the hardware shop, they will purchase the hardware and they will deliver it to the data center. And tell me guys, how much time this could take? This could take days or weeks, even months also, for the entire hardware to be purchased and deliver it to the data center. So this will take days or week or even months also for the entire hardware to be purchased and deliver it to the data centers. Right. Once it is delivered to the data center, can we directly use it? Tell me guys. Once the entire hardware is available at the data center or delivered at the data center, can we directly use it? No. Correct. Again, then That's where the field engineers will come into the picture. That entire hardware is going to be arranging in the form of a rack and stack equipment. Just now I have shown you, right? So whatever the hardware you are purchasing, they are going to set up or arrange in the form of a rack and stack equipment. Then the system admins will come into the picture and they will do the initial configuration of the system, and the network admins will come into the picture and they will do the network configurations, and then storage admins will assign the storage, backup admins will assign the backups or configure the backups, and finally the application team. This is what is an application team. So earlier we remember, right, the developers and infrastructure both. Here the developers, application team, whatever the code that they have developed. So application team will develop the code, developers will develop the code. That particular code they are going to deploy it on top of the infrastructure available in the data center. Now your application is running in the data center. So this is how finally your application is readily available so that users can start using the application. So this is what is the flow, guys. You see, let me gonna tell you the flow one more time from the scratch so that you guys can understand it even more better. So let me gonna show you guys. See, whenever a new application, whenever an organization wanted to create a new application for their end users, the business comes up with a requirement for the application. Business will come with a requirement for an application, and the business analyst will gather all the needs from the business, and he's going to be analyzing that information and converting into a set of high level technical requirements. Then he passes that information to the solution architect. Now the solution architect will design the architecture to be followed for the deployment of the application. This may involve the programming languages. This may involve the entire infrastructure such as the specification type, number of servers, front-end server, back-end databases, load balances, all of these things, right? So if the entire infrastructure is already available in the data center for the application deployment, no issues at all, right? When you are following a traditional model, whatever the infrastructure that is required for the application deployment, if it is already available in the data center, no issues at all, directly application team can deploy it. But most of the time this infrastructure may not be available in the data center. So that is where if the additional hardware is needed, the solution architect team will try to will try to order it via procurement team. Now the procurement team put in a request to the vendors team. Now the vendors team will purchase the entire hardware and deliver it to the data center. And this may take days or a week or even months also to purchase the entire hardware and deliver it to the data center. Once it is delivered at the data center, the entire infrastructure team comes into the picture. There will be a field engineers to set up the rack and stack equipment, and the system admins do the system configuration, and network admins to assign the network so that all the systems will be available over the network, and storage admins to assign the storage, and backup admins to configure the backups. Finally, application developers are going to be whatever the code that they have developed, they are going to be deploying on top of the infrastructure available in the data center. That's where the application is created and used by the end users. So this is how the entire flow of the work whenever they wanted to create an entire new application. When you're following a traditional model, these many people working behind the scenes so that will be a new application for the end users. Now tell me, guys, there is a question for you. So what is the problem with the traditional working model? Can you guys tell me? Correct. Correct. Exactly. That is also correct. Correct. Time. Time. Yes. Correct. That's right. Correct. Whenever there is a new requirement, it is very hard for us to scale up. Yes, very good answer. Okay. So now you know that this is what is the traditional methodology, and there are plenty of problems or plenty of the challenges that is faced by the companies. Let us try to see. So this is a traditional methodology if you wanted to create a new application. Now let us try to look at some of the problems. So when you look at the problems or the challenges here, the very first problem is a slow deployment. You see the turnover time. If you look at it here, the turnover time varies from the weeks to the months for the entire application to be ready for the deployment. That is the reason I call it as a slow deployment model, because you see it is taking a lot of time while purchasing the infrastructure. It is taking a lot of time while multiple people working behind the scene. So that is the reason the turnover time varies from the days, weeks and months for the entire application to be ready. So that is the reason I call it as a slow deployment model. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? Yes. Correct. Exactly. Okay. Sir, for example, assume that my application is doing very good in the market and I wanted to scale up and down. Is it possible or is it achieved quickly or not? If I wanted to scale up my system or if I wanted to scale down my system, I cannot achieve it quickly. That is also one of the problems. So scalability is very less. Okay, so that is one more problem. And if I look at it here, the overall cost to deploy this model and maintain this model is very high. So that's the reason I call it as a expensive, because you look at here, I have to maintain the entire data center. Maintaining the entire data center is very costly process. 24 by 7 electricity, 24 by 7 security, 24 by 7 cooling, all the things needs to be required. And one more thing, many people working behind the scene in a very different tasks. So that's the reason the overall cost to deploy the model and maintain this model is very high. So that's the reason I call it as a expensive. Again, do you guys agree? Exactly. And the next thing is that, so if you guys look at it here, can the automation is high or less? Can you guys tell me? Automation is less, because if you guys see, some aspects I can automate it, some aspects I can automate it, but some of the aspects like whatever the activity done by the field engineers like rack and stack equipment cannot be automated. Delivering something cannot be automated. So some aspects can be automated, but most of the several steps or procedures are manual and they are slow. So that's the reason we say limited automation. The automation is some aspects we can automate it, but most of the aspects are manual and they are slow. So that's the reason we call it as a limited automation. Okay. And the next thing is that now that you see guys, many people working behind the scene, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So multiple teams are multiple members working behind the scene on a different task. The chances of human error is very high, and which leads to the inconsistency in the environment, right? With so many teams working on it, so many different tasks, the chances of human error is very high, which leads to the inconsistency in the environment, right? So there is one of the major disadvantages there. I am expecting if anyone could give me the answer for that. One more major disadvantage is there. Sir, can anyone guess it? Anyone can guess it? One more major disadvantage. I no. Scalability, I have told you. Agility, no. No. Any other?
Salary
No.
for the
Loss of data,
employees.
we have a replications. No. 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 Security is there for sure. No. Do you guys know about the underutilization of the compute resources? See, look at here. When you are working in the on-premises, you are going to purchase the machines. You may not be using it 100%. So that is called as underutilization of the compute resources, which is one of the major disadvantage when you are working in the on-premises working model. When you're working in the on-premises working model, you may be purchasing a lot of machines, you may not be using it 100%. So that's the reason we call it as a wasted resources. Okay, so you may be purchasing a lot of machines, but you are not using it 100%. That's really leads to the underutilization of the compute resources. So that is again we call it as a wasted resources, which is one of the major disadvantage in the traditional methodology, right? So you have a slow deployment, because that when you are following a traditional deployment model, it is a slow deployment model, and it is very costly or expensive, and limited automation is there, which leads to many teams working behind the scenes. So that's the reason it is leads to the human error, which leads to the inconsistency in the environment. Now there is a one more major disadvantage, that is wasted resources. Okay, due to these many disadvantages over the past decades, the organizations are looking for an alternative solution. Due to these many disadvantages over the past decades, the organizations are looking for an alternative solution. So that's where the cloud platforms came into the picture. That's where the cloud providers came into the picture. And one of the major cloud providers, are three of the major cloud providers, are like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Right? So this is how you try to understand. The moment the cloud platforms came into the picture, or cloud providers came into the picture, what they say is that we provide you the infrastructure. Right? So the main motto of the cloud providers is that, or what they say is that we provide you the infrastructure as a pay-as-you-go model, so that you can focus on the innovation rather than on the infrastructure. But the moment the cloud providers came into the picture, so we don't need to worry about these things. So no worry about vendors work, no procurement team, no field engineers, no system, no storage admins, no backup admins, no data center maintenance. So when the cloud providers came into the picture, so there is a one DevOps team come into the picture. Instead of infrastructure team, there is a DevOps team come into the picture. One or two DevOps engineers will be there inside it. So according to the solution architect requirement, the DevOps team will create the infrastructure in the cloud platforms, and on top of the infrastructure, application team will deploy it. That's it. Okay, so now when you are working on the cloud platforms, the deployment is faster. When you're working in the cloud platform, the deployment is faster, because there are no these many steps. There is no infrastructure, hardware purchasing, delivering it to the data center, no configuration setup, no storage setup, nothing is required. Okay, so that is the reason when you are working on the cloud platforms, or when you are working in the cloud computing model, the deployments are faster. So that's the reason I have removed a slow deployment option here. And next thing is that you can only create whatever the resources that are required to you, and you only pay for whatever the resources that are using. So that's the reason you don't need to maintain the data center, you don't need to maintain anything, you only pay for whatever you are going to use. So that's the reason it is cost effective process. Comparatively it is cost effective. When you are working in the cloud platforms, most of the services are interacted via APIs. Sir, application programming interface, API. So when something is working via API, the automation is very high. Okay, most of the services in the cloud platforms are working via APIs only. So when it is working via API, the automation is very high. So that's the reason limited automation is also not there in the cloud platforms. When you're working in the cloud platforms, it is having a good amount of automation. And now that you do not have these many teams, right? So the teams are lesser, the chances of human error is also less, and which will not lead to the inconsistency in the environment. Now when you look at the wasted resources in the cloud platform, there is a concept of scaling up and down as per the demand. So when you need the resources, the resources will be scaled up. When you don't need the resources can be scaled down, so that you can use the resources 100%. Right? So there is no concept of underutilization of, there is a concept, but comparatively the wasted resources are lesser here. So that's the reason in the cloud the wasting the resources is less compared to the on-premises working model. So this is how, when you're working in the cloud platforms, you have these many advantages over the on-premises working model. So the deployments are faster, it is cost effective, good amount of automation is there, less human intervention, and less inconsistency in the environment, less disadvantages, less wasted resources. So this is the reason most of the companies started using the cloud platforms over the on-premises working model. Okay, so that is what I have mentioned here also, the same thing. When you are following a traditional working model, so your organization has to manage your entire infrastructure to run their application or a code. What is traditional working model, guys? The if your organization managing its your own infrastructure to run your application or a code, that is called as a traditional working model. Sir, what is infrastructure? You are mentioning all the time infrastructure, infrastructure. And infrastructure can be a server, it can be a hardware or a software or a networking or a storage. These are all the things we can call it as an infrastructure. Okay, when you are working in a traditional working model, your company has to manage the entire infrastructure so that your application will run. But when you're working in the cloud computing model, a cloud provider will deliver the infrastructure as a service to you so that you can focus on the innovation. You can focus on the development rather than building the infrastructure. So that is what we call as a cloud computing model. In the cloud computing model, a cloud provider will provide you the infrastructure as a service to you. A cloud provider will provide you the infrastructure as a service to you. One of the cloud provider is a Google Cloud Platform, which is one of the leading cloud provider to provide you the resources. Okay, so this is what is the difference between the traditional working model as well as cloud computing model. Right, it is important for you to understand, because so some people, I mean, even though without understanding this point also, you can go ahead and work in the cloud platforms. But the thing is that if you appreciate the technology, so that what happens is that the it gives you some kind of a thing, right? So tomorrow you are going to be developing something, right? So there should be appreciation for whatever we are doing it. So in terms of a cloud platform, there's a lot amount of advancements and technology nowadays. We are also seeing chart gpts, all of those things. Again, these are built on top of your different on their own cloud platforms also, right? So that is so now you guys got some idea why we need the cloud platform. And one more important aspect is that what is the difference between the traditional and the cloud, and what are the problems when you are working in the traditional, and what is the problems, what are the advantages when you're working in the cloud platforms also. You got some idea. Okay, so that is something. Maybe I will give you a small idea. Yesterday we have seen what is Google Cloud Platform also. Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider, which provides you a plenty of services for the organizations to build the application, deploy the application, and scale the applications and services in the cloud, right? So if you guys, as I think I have told you this point yesterday also, Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider, guys, which provides you the cloud computing services. Okay, so these services, if you guys wanted to see here, so some of these services are, you can see a compute services, identity and security services, management tools, networking services, big data services, storage and database services, and machine learning services. It is offering you a wide variety of the services, so you can able to see here. And when it comes to these services are highly reliable, secure, and scalable infrastructure is going to be providing you. Okay, and this infrastructure is available throughout the world within the data centers, and Google has a data centers throughout the world. Even in India also we have a two data centers. One it is in the Delhi and one more is in the Mumbai also. So that is what. So this is a small introduction to the Google Cloud Platform as well. Okay, so just wanted to talk about one of the important aspect today, that is why we need cloud platform, which we have covered. Now you got one more idea is also, that is what is the difference between the traditional versus cloud platforms, and what is Google Cloud Platform also you now know. Okay, so let me gonna stop the session here for today, and we are going to have a one more demo session, that is tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we are having demo 3. I'm going to give you the time for you to ask the question. I just wanted to tell you tomorrow we have a demo 3, guys. We are going to talk about one more interesting topic, that is tomorrow. That is, now that you know there are plenty of services are there in the Google Cloud platform. If I wanted to work as a data engineer, if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, sir, how many methods are there? To interact with the GCP services, so you have a compute services, identity services, management tools, networking, big data. If I wanted to interact with the GCP services, how many methods are there? So that is something that we are going to see. There are 4 methods mainly. One is console, one more is cloud shell, the third one is cloud SDK, the fourth one is APIs and third party tools. And what is console, what is cloud shell, what is cloud SDK, what is this APIs and third party tools, that is something that we are going to see tomorrow, guys, each and everything in very detail. Okay, so let me gonna stop the session here for today, and this topic is for tomorrow, guys. Okay, yes. So now if anyone have any question, please raise your hand. Do not ask me directly, please. So just before asking the question, just wanted to tell you, today we have covered these topics. Tomorrow we are going to see how to interact with the GCP services. This is something that we are going to see, guys. And the demo session 3 is also free for all of you guys. Free for all of you. And at the same time, 9:30 to 10:30. Okay, so this is something that I just wanted to highlight. Yeah. Now please raise your hand, guys, if anyone have any questions. I'm gonna go one by one. um yes, Rahul, you have any question? Rahul Deep.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to know the things which technology is easy, like GCP. If I compare with the Azure data engineering, so which one is easy? Because I search on the
I'll tell you.
Chat GPT. Okay, so Chat GPT advise me. Okay, if you are for fresher, so you should go with the Azure data engineering. If you have some experience, so you can go with the GCP. So could you distinguish it?
I'll tell you. I had told you that same thing yesterday also, Rahul. So I told you that GCP, if you guys wanted to get a opportunity with a less competition and you wanted to get a job, GCP is very good. If you wanted to get a job in the Azure, there's a huge competition is there, because that the market is saturated. Okay, that particular topic I have covered yesterday. If you wanted to check it out, which we have covered yesterday, but if you are looking for an opportunity and you wanted to learn some cloud data engineering course and get into the job as early as possible, GCP is for you guys. Okay, yes. Yes, Shaj Mohammed, you have any question? Of course. No, I'm gonna tell you one thing. See, always go for developer role. You will be in the trend all the time. DevOps, if you go to a company for 1,000 people, 5 to 10 DevOps engineers will be there. Okay, so DevOps is something that is more for 8 plus 9 plus 10 years of experience to the people who needs to manage 2 to 3 projects. Okay, so but one thing is that, and nowadays many everyone think that there is no coding behind the DevOps, everyone move towards it. There's a huge competition for DevOps. The people think that anyone can learn the DevOps, get the job. No, that is not going to happen at all for DevOps. Okay, DevOps is something that are more experienced guys, they are going to get the DevOps engineer job, and it is not easy to get it. And always be there in the developer role. When I say our data engineering is more of a development role, data engineering is more of a development role, which will be a highly trending job. Maybe I can show you one thing. Think I did not show you this time, maybe I'll show you. So I forgot that. Recent research over highest growing jobs. Okay, top growing jobs. I don't know. I forgot that. Grow growing jobs by 2030. Let us check this one. If you look at it, recently only there was a survey. There's a survey. You can see fastest growing jobs. Future jobs report. No. Fastest top 15 future jobs in demand by. I don't think so. Yeah, Times of India. Maybe you can look at fastest growing jobs by here. Also, you can check it out. Fastest to grow. There is a Times of India which always they provide you the research. You can check it out. Maybe fastest growing jobs by 2030. And if you go down, if you guys look at it here, big data specialist, nothing but big data engineers. You see, fastest growing jobs. People think that AI engineer. People think that DevOps will not be here. So DevOps engineer and maybe data analyst. They think that different things, but no one actually don't know that data engineers are the highly paid job and trending job all the time. It is not like that. It was there 30 years before. It will be there after 30 years also. One of the trending job is big data engineer or a data engineer. Okay, so fastest growing jobs by 2030 is this one. So I suggest you to go for data engineering because I've been there in the data engineering from last 8 years. I know that how it works. I know that you have a balanced work life balance also. Work life balance is also good in the data engineering role, I would say. Okay, if you have a good knowledge and you can able to easily manage the work, and you will be able to have a aram say, you can take your work, you can go to home. So that's something I would say. Yes.
I
No,
have
no, no,
one
no,
doubt
no.
here.
Both are different. DevOps and data engineering both are different roles. Yes. Yes, please. Someone was asking something in between.
Yeah,
Yes, Navi.
yeah, yeah. Actually, like I'm
Uh-huh.
new to this data engineering field. I don't know about the programming side. So
No worries
yesterday I
at all.
saw the starting. You said like you are going to cover the Python as well, with
Of course.
respect to the data engineering side. So
Correct.
that will be enough, like in this
Of
class.
not only in this calls, if you go and work in the company, the amount of knowledge that is required for Python and PySpark, I'm going to teach in the course. No worries at all. Right? Yes, of course.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay, thank you.
Yes, Sunil. Sunil, you have any questions? Sunil Paidi. Yes, you are audible. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Mhm. Needs to have a good knowledge. I told you, right? So you should be having a good mentor to teach you all the things. So that's the reason I have designed this course in such a way that we have all the topics with including the lot of examples and scenarios and case studies with the final project also, so that it gives you a flavor of everything, so that you can able to easily work in the company. So if you do not have a good knowledge and if you are expecting to be working properly in the company, so that's not going to happen at all. So people think that, sir, I can crack the interview easily, I can go. So cracking the interview is very easy. With this course, I'm gonna say cracking the interview is very easy. But working in the company is important, guys. Always target for this thing. People forget about this thing. So I have seen multiple people cracking 3 to 4 offer letters, but they think that they can able to work company in the easily. No, but because if you wanted to crack the interviews, you don't need to have 100% of knowledge. You just need to have a 40% of whatever I'm teaching. If you remember, you can just easily crack the interviews, because 40% is the technical knowledge. 50%, 50 to 60% will help you the communication to get the knowledge. Communication will help you to crack the interviews. Okay, but this is not something that I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on to give you the job. The main thing that we are focusing is that once you get the job, you should be able to work comfortably in the company. That is the main aim. The aim is, see, everyone can able to get the job by attending my course. I'm telling you, because there are plenty of the people told me, sir, your course is everything, your notes is everything, which is easy for me to get the job. Almost some 700 people got the job from my course. So everyone say it. But the thing is that if you properly follow whatever I am saying every day, if you properly follow the assignments, if you properly build the pipelines, then only you will be able to work in the company comfortably once you got the job. If you think that your focus is only on the job until you get the job, if you focus on that's a big problem, right? You need to practice every day for next 3 months. Put an extra effort. See, 1 hour of live session, 30 minutes for the practice every day. If you put this 1 hour 30 for every day, then next 3 months you are going to have a GCP data engineer position. You can able to easily work in the company. So this
So
is
with
something that you can, yes,
so with all the case studies, like we are good
of
with the
course,
yeah, okay.
correct,
It completes everything, right? Like to hands
yes,
on. Okay, we can survive in company like whatever
correct,
it comes. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Uh,
of course. We
actually,
are
like
going to
I'm
provide all the case studies. We are going to provide all the every topic will have assignments. Every topic will have for sure case studies, assignments, and you can also see here every, so lab sessions, first lab sessions will, every topic will have lab sessions, and then use cases are case studies, and then assignments, and end-to-end pipeline here. End-to-end pipeline are use case, both are same, nothing but case study only. I'll try to rename it. I forgot to rename it. This is nothing but case study one. Okay, so this is nothing but case study 2. Just wanted to rename it. People getting confused over here. So case study. So every topic, even you go to the data proc, you will be having lab sessions separately. This is PySpark, learning the PySpark here. Once you learn the PySpark, then you come to the case study 1, case study 2, case study 3 to make you perfect in creating the pipelines. Once I make you perfect in creating the pipelines, I give you assignment to make you perfect, to create on your own. So this makes you, not only you are learning the some programming knowledge, you are using that programming knowledge to create the pipeline, and after that I'll give you the assignment so that you can create on your own or not, you can able to check it out. So that is something that we are going to check it out here. The
so
same
with the
thing happens here also. Yes,
so with free GCP account for the 90 days,
correct.
like that, it will be enough. We can
So
practice everything.
correct. I'll give you the time, guys. I'll give you the time. I think do not talk directly, please. I'll give you the time. Do not talk directly. Okay. Yes, please. Uh, uh, Let me gonna go one by one. We will see that. Please raise your hand. Yes, Nagendra. Nagendra, you have any question? Nagendra Yalamati.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. Like, is going into the cloud from the on-prem is really valid, or like is it really make like saves us money or in terms of long term? Because why I'm asking, I hear from a couple of people around who has been working already. Like initially, they might give everything for free because
No,
if
not like
someone is
that. Not
giving,
like that.
if
It is not something that
like
we worry about.
yeah, yeah,
But I'll tell you one thing. So it is something
no,
that
no,
we are
I
not
just
worried about. I am just telling you one thing, that companies already proven that, most of the companies, not one or two companies, because now that almost 70% of the companies working on the cloud already, it is because that they already seeing a lot of cost effective nature comparatively. Not only cost effective nature, because when you are on the cloud, you are using the most advanced tools, which will ease your job. So that's the reason that most of the companies started using the cloud, which is already proven. Instead of we discussing something whether it is good or not, but it's already proven that most of the companies are using the cloud, and we wanted to work in the cloud. So that's the idea here. Yeah.
okay. I'm hearing that like every cloud give you initially as free the services, but later they put the charge as double. Correct? So is
No,
that true? Like around
no, no, no,
based
no,
on
no.
your experience you're working
No,
on?
no, 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 that never happened. So maybe see, it is like this one. Like 5 years back, you might have bought 1 kg of rice. The cost of the rice was something, right? For example, 20 rupees. 1 kg of rice, 4 years, 5 years back, it was 20. Now it is 50. Right? It happens, right? It is not something that, so they are selling the rice earlier it was 20 and now it is 50, because it's depends on the market. It depends on the demand and market, right? So that's how the same thing happens in the cloud also. It is not different. Okay.
Okay, it's like, see, we having migration projects around, right? So I'm also going to have a migration project to from like on-prem to GCP. So since we're having already everything in the on-prem, like now moving into GCP really benefits.
Mhm.
Like
Of
what
course.
ways really it benefits, right? Because we're
Of
already having the infrastructure in the on-prem, and now after 1 or 2 year, like 1 year, they will give the credits. But after that, what if they start costing more? Like how it will be beneficial? What kind of services will be more
No,
beneficial
it,
to
it
us?
is like that. You can go and ask your infrastructure engineers how much struggle that they are going into every day. Okay, so
Okay.
it's the infrastructure engineers that they are managing everything. So that's the reason we don't see the pain, right? So the
Okay.
moment you wanted to manage on the things, and if something crashing and building everything from the scratch will take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and that entire
Okay.
effort is taken care by the infrastructure engineers at this point of time. And you are scaling, so whatever we have just seen, right, scaling up and down and all of those things, automations, these things are not possible easily. Okay, so that's the reason we moved to the cloud. Yes, for sure, for
Okay.
sure, you'll be seeing it, because you look at everything from the very near, then only you will be able to see it. Because even if I say something also may not make sense to you, right, totally, but
Okay.
if you go ahead and try to ask them what is the problem, try to see how many people working behind the scene, how many things they are managing it, then you will get to know it, the pain behind that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And let me go to, yes, Monisha, you have any question? Monisa Ahmad. Yes, please. Yes, please. Hello. Uh-huh. For a certification, it doesn't take much time for you to crack it, and I'm also providing you the dumps here. So attend the sessions regularly. After 1.5 to 2 months, you should be able to go to my associate cloud engineer dumps, and you can able to crack it easily. Yes, most of the questions are repetitive, and for sure you go ahead and try to look at each and every question in the dumps, because some questions are repetitive also. Yes.
So big data
Yes.
engineering, data
Yes.
engineers are same,
Yes.
even data analyst also.
No, that is a certification, is associate cloud engineer. Once you crack it, Google will provide you the certification, which you can showcase in the LinkedIn. Uh, I'll give you, we will give you, but then may not be much useful. You cannot showcase anywhere because this is just an institute, right? So may not be useful, but for sure we will give you. You can showcase it, but not on a valid certification, not an external valid certification like Google. Okay. Yes. Yes, please. Of course. Of course. Yes. Of course. I highlight you for sure, right? When you go for an interview or when you go for some kind of a position, for sure, it will be a plus point to you. For sure, right? So, yes, 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 counts, of course. Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, Ashish, you have any question? Certifications are counts, guys. So, if you guys wanted to go for certifications, very important, but not mandated to get the job. But if you have it, it is a plus point to you. Yes, yes, Ashish. Good evening. Yes. Yes. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what knowledge you need to have. You don't need to have a development skills on the SQL. At least you should be having what is what knowledge. So when I say, for example, what is different types of data types, for example, and what is create statement, what is insert statement. So that at least theoretical knowledge around it and the basic SQL statements, if you know it, and rest of the things we'll be seeing in a development. How do we use this knowledge into the development? Right. So that is something that we say basic SQL knowledge. I will tell you later also what is this basic SQL, where you can actually learn it also. Okay, during our sessions, because by the time it will take 7 to 8 days for us to cover the cloud basics. By the time you can actually focus on these cloud SQL concepts also. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, one question, like in GCP data engineer and the Azure data engineer concepts will be the same, right?
Mm, some of the concepts are same. Yes, I would say PySpark and SQL development knowledge is same, but when it comes to the services, right, so there are a little bit different, because Azure provides you less data engineering tools, but GCP provides you more data engineering. For example, uh, you know we have data proc and data flow. These are two different, and data fusion is different, and airflow is something that is so, some of those such a kind of a tools the Azure is also not providing. Okay. So some concepts are mostly same, but some concepts are totally different. Okay.
So for the
Yes.
big data engineer, also the same concepts will come, right?
Of
For
course,
data
of course.
engineer.
See,
Okay.
concepts are same. The tools are a little bit different.
Okay. Normally in job description, they will ask like big data engineer and GCP
Those
data
concepts
engineer.
are same. Concept, big data engineering concepts are same, and programming language is also same. But the tools that you are going to use and the way that work are different. Yes. Yes, Nehal. Nehal, you have any question? Yes, please. There are. Yes, yes. There are nowadays there is a good amount of opportunities for the data engineers in the fresher levels also. Okay, so there are plenty of opportunities we see even in my company also. Recently, we recruited almost 3 to 4 interns for the data engineering level. Okay, so it is happening for data engineers, freshers also. There's a plenty of opportunities are there. Yes, yes. Amar Lokeshwar, you have any question? Yes, please. No, no. As is and PDE or any cloud certification you do, it is valid for 2 years. Okay. Any cloud certification you do, whether it is Azure or GCP, it is valid only for 2 years. Okay. Yes. Yes. After that, you have to write it again. To yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. And yes, Sunil, Sunil, I think we have seen Sunil Paidi. We have seen. Or you wanted to ask something? Yes, please. Yes, of course. Huh. No, no. While we are see, if I don't tell you PySpark and if I give you PySpark assignment, it doesn't make any sense, right? So once the lab sessions on the PySpark is completed, then case studies one is completed, then you can go ahead and start. I'll let you know at that point of time. Now that we have completed this one, you guys can start working on the assignments also. And you can look at the assignment one, what is the problem statement and what is the sample data. If you are able to achieve the code properly, good. If you are not able to achieve the code also, you have a sample code already here. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, Chaitanya, you have any question? Thank you. Chaitanya, you have any question? uh Sorry, sorry. Azure. No, your voice is actually not. No, actually, I can't hear you properly. Can you put your question in the chat box? I can't hear it at all. Yeah, please. So someone was asking, Prashob, sir, are you covering Hadoop, Hive also? No, Hadoop and Hive is not required at all. Those are deprecated services. We don't use it in the companies nowadays. Okay, when you are working in the cloud, you don't use Hadoop, you don't use Hive. Yes. Yes, Rajan Gupta, you have any question? Rajan Gupta. Yes, please. Correct. Correct. Uh-huh. No, no. System admins not required. Okay, so again, these are not a separate teams. A DevOps engineer will take care of it. One or two DevOps engineer. Yes, DevOps team come into the picture. They take care of it. Yes, correct, correct, correct. No, 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 no. It is different. We will see that difference also. Data modeling and data processing, it is totally different. Data processing is processing a large amounts of the data according to maybe cleaning or transforming, all of those steps into comes into the picture. Modeling is like regrouping or maintaining the relationship between them. Yes. Yes. Virtual machines. Compute nothing but your laptop will have. Your laptop is nothing but compute, right? It is having some kind of a hard disk or memory, and what we call it as networking. So these are all, we call it as, if you put it into one thing, we call it as a machine, right? So that is, laptop is your machine. Similarly, in cloud also you call it as a virtual machine, right? Physically, if it is available, you are calling it as a desktop or laptop. If it is virtually available, you call it as a virtual machine. Okay, so virtual machines are Kubernetes. These are called as a compute services, compute options. Yeah. Yes. 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 Thank you. And yes, John Saida, you have any question? Guys, please allow me for some time. I'll try to give you answers for each and everything, and please be patient here. Those who think that, sir, I am good with today's session and I would like to join tomorrow's session, you can leave this session also. Maybe we will connect tomorrow at the same time for demo 3. Okay. Yes. Yes, John Saida, you have any question? Sorry, John. Recordings are provided. Yes, recordings are provided, and it is validity of 1 year. No, usually it will, they'll say 6 months, but usually by the time it is deleted, it is 10 months plus will be there. No worries. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. BBBB. I don't know. What is? Yeah. Yes, please. Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes. Of course. Right. The main aim of the course is that one only. Yeah. No. Yes. Yes. So the answer is that, I maybe at first you think that sir is spoon feeding, maybe first 5 days or 10 days. But the moment you see after 10-15 days, I may be increasing the pace a bit until next one month. And after that, I increase the pace, like, so the main idea is that we are starting maybe from the very beginner to the pro level. So that's what we are going to see. I'm covering all the flavors of GCP data engineering tools with a lot of many examples, case studies, which will help you to improve your data engineering skills. Not only that, it will also give you architectural planning skills also in the GCP. Okay, so that's how this course will be. Yes. At this point of time, no. Yeah. Huh. Got it. Got it. No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. We used to do it for 1 month, of course. Currently, we are not planning anything right now. But many people are actually asking it. Even yesterday, also there were 3 to 4 people were asking the same questions. Are any crash course available? But I'll try to think about it, and we will let you know. Okay? We'll let. Yes. 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 No. Python. Python will be there. PySpark will be there. SQL. It will be specific to the GCP. Yes. 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 Thank you. Yes. YM. You have any question? Your voice is very low. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Maybe I'll go to the chart. How much level could teach about Cloud Composer in this course? We are going to cover quite a good number of sessions on the Airflow also, where we are covering what is Airflow or a composer, workflow orchestration, and architecture. What is DAG? How do we create the DAG? Cron job format, creating composer environment. Then level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 DAGs. Level 1 for the BigQuery SQL jobs, level 2 for the data proc jobs orchestration, level 3 for the data flow job orchestration, level 4 for parent and master DAG concept, level 5 is an assignment for you, and level 6 is for CI/CD, to give you some idea on the CI/CD flavor also with the Airflow. Okay, yes. So that much level we are covering on the Airflow. And yes, so Han, what is the difference between the data engineer and data analyst? Times of India article presented distance between the two placing an engine one and data analyst much further down. Data engineer is a broader perspective. Okay, data engineering is a broader perspective, which I have told you what is data engineer yesterday. A data analyst is someone who creates analytical reports, right? Data analyst will create a data analytical report such as BI, or maybe some dashboards or reports, such kind of a things. But data engineer can actually do that work also. A data engineer is a broader, it's more of a foundational work, starting from data ingestion, data storage, data processing, data analysis, data transformation, data pipeline creation. All of these things comes into the picture. So that's the reason data engineering, big data engineers are a most trending job outside. Yes, yes. Again, so okay, Nehal, do you have any question again? Do you want me to lower your hand? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. 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 Of course. Of course. And I'm telling you, Nehal, you are going to enjoy these sessions as a fresher. For sure, you are going to get a very good knowledge and very good insight into the course. Some concepts which are advanced for your age and for your experience, you may not understand it fully. But if you understand the difficulty here when you are working in the company, it is easy for you, I would say. Okay. Internship is something that you. Huh. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, that's something that you can ping me. Whenever there is, for sure, I'll refer. Yes, yes, of course. I'll do that. We have a community, guys. Don't worry, sir. We all have a community in the LinkedIn. I'll share you the link maybe tomorrow. You can all join to that, LinkedIn community. There are plenty of postings. There are plenty of people recruiting for a GCP data engineer. Maybe I'll try to show you here now. 1 minute, guys. I'll try to put it up here. So I can share you the link. Maybe I'll share you the link tomorrow. At this point of time, it is not handy with me. I'll share you the link maybe by tomorrow, guys. Okay? Yes, sure. Any other questions, anyone? As you guys now know that tomorrow we have a demo 3, guys. Demo 3 at the same time, which is going to be very, very interesting session, which is very important session. Rather than interesting, it is more of an important session. Everyone must know how to interact with the GCP services, right? That's a very important session which we are going to have it tomorrow at the same time, 9:30 to 10:30. Okay, yes. Anyone have any questions finally? Please raise your hand. Yes, please. Yes, please, Shad. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I would suggest it's your choice. Okay. I mean, I'm not here to tell you that which role you can go for. But the thing is that if you wanted to go and settle for yourself, then data engineering is a career. And of course, it depends on your decision also, whether you wanted to go for DevOps or data engineering. It is your choice. But think that, take it a wise decision, and there is a good amount of competition there in a DevOps. So opportunities are good, but the competition is very good. even more good. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes. Any other? Yes, Priyanka, you have any question? Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Mm-hmm. Possible. Of course. Yes, yes. So this course will give you almost 3 years of experience. Okay, so that's how the depth of this course that we are going to have it. So for sure, you can put it as a 2 years of experience in your resume. For sure, that is possible. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Any other questions, anyone, please? Finally, before we wind up the session. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. Tomorrow we will meet for the demo 3 session, guys, which is happening at the same time, 9:30 to 10:30. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session today and learned something out of it. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye. We will meet tomorrow.